So if you have found this video, you probably have a problem with hypothyroidism, or you're expecting that you might have one. So I will be telling you today my story about how I was diagnosed, how it usually goes, and what symptoms I had myself, and how do I feel now. So stay tuned, because I will be telling you my story with hypothyroidism. So, if you have seen my channel before, you know I have quite a few health problems, which very often many women have, so I know I'm not the only one. So I have also PCOS, I have also endometriosis and hypothyroidism at the same time, probably along other stuff that I don't even know about. Now, the reason why I want to tell you my stories, I think that that's how it goes for many people, actually, and I'm going to tell you also which things I had diagnosed when, because maybe it's relevant as well. What do I think actually influenced me having thyroid problems in the first place? How am I what treatments I have, and so on. You will have all the timestamps below. So first I want to tell you when I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, and right now is the beginning of 2021. I was diagnosed in 2015, and so I have been diagnosed with hypothyroidism almost 6 years now. Now, what even led me to being tested? First of all, that time in my life, it was 6 months after a very, very stressful time in my life, 6 months after horrible breakup, and so I knew that I had a lot of stress in my body at that time. And I'll be honest, because of this amount of stress, I lost a lot of weight really quickly. I didn't eat well. I started smoking again. So there were a lot of things happening. I was also a year after surgery, so it was like a lot going on. And the reason why I'm even mentioning it is because our stress levels influence our thyroid hormones, and sometimes it's just natural thing that if you don't have proper nutrition and if you have a lot of stress, your thyroid levels might get lower, and they might be able to be regulated naturally by improving your diet and giving your body all it wants before actually going on medication. However, I didn't know it then. So what happened was, I was living back in Poland at the time. I moved from Sweden to Berlin, and then from Berlin to Poland. I was working as a makeup artist back then. It's relevant because I'm going to be telling you a story of my symptoms as well. So what I noticed first is like being a makeup artist, especially in one of the leading brands. If you know which brand I'm talking about, let me know down in the comments. But if you are a makeup artist in this brand, you have to pass certain certifications while you are already makeup artist. So you get kind of like, stages of what you know of your customer service, and then you get certain certifications. So you, for example, have to learn how to investigate someone's needs in makeup. And I remember that the first thing that I started noticing is the horrible brain fog that I had. So, for example, when I had this certification, or like a little practice for this certification, I asked someone a question. Okay, what are you searching for today? Okay, lipstick, let's say it was the answer. So I'm like, okay, or like, what kind of vibe are you looking for? What kind of color? What kind of occasion? You're trying to kind of source out what someone is expecting from, for example, the lipstick they've been looking at. But to do that, you need to remember whatever that person just answered you. So I asked one question. I asked this question, I got an answer. I asked another question, and I already didn't remember the first question that I've asked. So I had really, really horrible brain fog. The other thing that was happening to me, I started being very, very swollen and gained weight. But it was weird because I didn't eat much, and it was after a period of time that I lost a lot of weight. So, sometimes it is yo-yo dieting, you have huge hunger. I can't remember now, because it was 6 years ago, whether I had huge hunger, but I don't remember eating particularly much, but I felt like heavy, swollen, and very uncomfortable in my body, kind of like when you're PMSing. So I was definitely very swollen. My eyes were constantly swollen when I was waking up. Then I started noticing that no matter how much I've slept, I still felt tired. but sick tired. It's kind of hard to explain. If you ever had been sick with a flu or any other thing, you know that kind of tiredness feeling when you're like almost falling over. Like it's not like, oh, I'm yawning. It's sick tiredness. Then I was getting out of breath doing anything. So my heart was pounding when I was getting up from the bed after 14 hours of sleep, 14 hours a night. Getting up, trying to hang laundry that I just made, and I was getting out of breath. I was feeling like I'm gonna faint. Then I remember it was really, really hot summer that year, and I was freezing cold. So I would have, back then I was working like 75% of a full time. So I was working like something, I don't remember, 20 something hours a week. So I was coming back after 6-hour shift, and I had afternoon off. And even though I slept 14 hours that day, I would still get a nap, and it was 35 degrees outside, and I was freezing under the, like, you know, thick blanket, not just a sheet, like a thick, proper bed sheet duvet kind of a thing. So I was shivering. I was, to sum all of this up, horrible brain fog to the point that I couldn't remember what I just asked someone. Very, very cold. Extremely tired. No amount of sleep made me less tired. Getting super tired, out of breath, doing the simplest things, and a lot of swelling and weight gain. So I knew something was definitely off, and it so happened that I was working with a girl who actually had Hashimoto's. And she said, maybe you should get your thyroid checked. And also, of course, my parents were getting concerned. So, and together we decided to get me to like a proper private checkup. And it turned out that I did have hypothyroidism. Now, why was I mentioning something about medication and stress and so on? As I said, I was in a period of horrible stress at that time. And what I found out later about reading a few books and reading my favorite internet articles was that it is absolutely natural to have problems with thyroid after the stress period, because of course, you know, when you're stressed, your digestion goes first, then you want to ingest iodine. Maybe you don't have iodine in your diet because you're eating crap because you're stressed. It's very easy to get your thyroid dysregulated because it actually works overtime then as well. With adrenaline, you know, trying to pump as much energy because you're running away from a tiger, you know, you're in fight or flight. So I wish that I had a different approach back then and maybe tried to, you know, take iodine, take selenium, you know, have a proper good diet, and maybe it would be reversed. However, I was already prescribed back then 75 milligrams of Euthyrox, I think it was Euthyrox, anyway, Levaxine, Levotrixine, whatever you want to call it. It's always the same thing, synthetic T4. And after a while, you know, especially when you start taking your synthetic thyroid hormones, you have to test pretty regularly, preferably once every month, because you need to kind of find how much your body needs. So eventually I was actually down-regulated to, like now I'm on 62 and a half, because 50 was too little, 75 was too much. So I'm on 62 and a half. I haven't been tested much in 2020 for obvious reasons, but I feel good on it and I think it's absolutely fine for me. So yeah, it's 6 years later, and I think that with the dosage I am on, I'm still taking my medication every morning. I think that with the dosage that I'm on, I am feeling okay. However, there are of course few experimental things that one can try to actually get off their thyroid hormones. So I am considering doing that in the future. However, I have a lot going on in my life right now. And a lot of stress as well, so I might hold on for now, test my thyroid and see how it goes. So that is my story. Let me know if your story is in any way similar, or maybe did it give you indication of if you have already some symptoms or not of hypothyroidism. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you have also PCOS and hypothyroidism, and do you want to see more hypothyroidism videos? So make sure you like, subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified about my future videos. and I will see you very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Bye.